If you're running a small business, you already know that training your people is absolutely critical. But let's be honest, trying to pick the right software for it, a learning management system or LMS, can feel totally overwhelming. I mean, there are hundreds of options out there, and they all promise you the world. So today, we're going to cut right through all that noise. I'm going to give you a simple, powerful framework to help you pick the perfect LMS for your team. Let's get into it. Here's the game plan. First, we're going to talk about the training challenges you're probably wrestling with right now. Then we'll decode the massive and, frankly, confusing LMS market. After that, I'll give you a super practical framework for evaluating any platform. We'll see how it works in a real-world showdown, and then, to wrap it all up, we'll build an action plan so you can make that final choice with total confidence. All right, part one, the modern training challenge. This is all about why the old way of doing things, relying on spreadsheets, shared folders, and random one-off sessions, just doesn't cut it anymore in today's world. So let me just ask you, point blank, is your company's training stuck on manual? Does it feel like you're spending way more time trying to organize and track everything than your employees are spending actually learning? If you're nodding your head right now, trust me, you are in the right place. For most small and medium-sized businesses, the pain points are pretty much the same. Trying to manually track who's done their mandatory compliance training, it's not just a huge time suck, it's actually risky. Onboarding new hires can feel like a total lottery, where everyone gets a slightly different, kind of inconsistent experience. And when you've got a tight budget and no dedicated IT person, well, just trying to keep your team's skills fresh feels like a constant uphill battle. And this is exactly where a learning management system steps in. It's the solution to these very problems. It automates all that tedious admin work, it streamlines how you deliver your courses, and it gives you the data to actually see what's working and what isn't. It literally turns that training chaos into a real, measurable, competitive advantage. So, how do we find the right tool in this sea of options? Well, first, we've got to understand the landscape. So let's take a minute to decode the LMS market and see how we got from the early days to this booming industry we see today. Digital learning might feel like a pretty new thing, but it's actually been around for a while. The very first computer-based training systems popped up way back in the 1970s, mostly in the aviation industry. But the real explosion, of course, happened with the internet in the 2000s. And for small and medium businesses like yours, that growth has just been accelerating like crazy over the last decade. And the market itself is, well, it's enormous. By 2030, the global corporate training market is projected to be worth almost $500 billion. That's a staggering number. And that is why there are so many options out there. Everyone wants a piece of this pie. But here's the key. Not all of these options are built to do the same thing. So with all that choice, the first big question you have to ask is, what do you actually need an LMS for? You see, the market is really split into two big camps. On one side, you've got these all-in-one platforms like Kajabi or Thinkific. They're amazing if your goal is to create and sell courses to the public. They have e-commerce and marketing tools baked right in. But on the other side, you've got specialized tools like TalentLMS, which are built from the ground up for internal employee training. We're talking compliance, onboarding, and professional development. Just figuring out which of these two camps you're in is the most important first step you can take. Okay, now we get to the heart of this whole explainer. Your buying framework. This is a simple but really powerful model that you can use to evaluate any platform out there. It's going to help you cut through all the marketing fluff and focus on what truly matters for your business. And the model itself, it's super simple. We just split all the things you need to consider into two clear groups. Internal factors, which are your core business needs, and external factors, which is all about the actual user experience for your team. This structure is going to keep your decision-making process organized, focused, and a whole lot less stressful. Okay, let's break down those internal factors. First up, cost. Obvious, right? But it's not just about today. Does the pricing make sense as your company grows? Second, data security. This one's non-negotiable. Does it meet the big standards like GDPR for data privacy? Third, integration. Will it play nicely with the software you're already using every day? And finally, scalability. Can this system grow with you without turning into some overly complex monster down the road? Now for the external factors. This is all about what it's actually like to use the platform. I'm talking about ease of use. Can your people create courses, and can your employees take them without needing a PhD in computer science? Can you make content that's actually engaging with things like videos and quizzes? What about reporting? Can you pull up a compliance report in like 2 clicks? And a big one, what happens when you get stuck? Is there a real, helpful human being you can talk to fast? Okay, so we have our framework. Now let's put it to work. In this section, we're going to apply this model to a few real-world platforms and take a look at the incredible financial impact that making the right choice can have. This is where it gets really interesting. Here's just a quick comparison to give you an idea. TalentLMS, that's a fantastic choice if your main goal is simplicity and speed for internal training. Seriously, you can get a course live in an afternoon. Thinkific, like we said, is built for the entrepreneurs out there who want to sell their courses to the world. And a tool like iSpringLearn is a great fit if your top priorities are rock-solid compliance tracking and building automated onboarding paths for new hires. And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. Check out this quote from the popular YouTube channel HR of Tomorrow. It says, TalentLMS is the absolute surprise. For a fraction of the price, you get 80% of functionality. This just nails it. For small businesses, it's not about having every feature under the sun. It's about getting the value and the functionality you actually need without breaking the bank. But what's the real bottom line impact here? Let's look at a case study. There is this electronics manufacturer that was spending a full 8-hour day on classroom onboarding for every single new employee. They made the switch to a streamlined 3-hour digital program that was delivered through an LMS. Now, the time savings are obvious, right? But the indirect benefits, they were absolutely staggering. Just by giving people a better, more consistent onboarding experience, their staff retention shot up by 52%. The savings from not having to constantly recruit, hire, and retrain new people, almost 300,000 euros. This is the proof. The real ROI of an LMS isn't just about saving a few hours here and there. It's about creating a culture where your best people want to stay and grow with you. It's an investment that pays for itself over and over again. Okay. Time to bring it all home. In this final section, we're going to lay out a crystal clear, step-by-step action plan so you can move forward and make your final decision with 100% confidence. Here is your process. 4 simple steps. 1. Based on your main goal, internal training or selling courses, shortlist your top 3 contenders. 2. Sign up for a free trial for all 3 of them, and please don't just click around for 5 minutes. 3. Run a real pilot project. Your mission is to take one of your existing documents or a short video and actually build it into a mini course on each platform. And 4, measure the experience. Time yourself. How long did it take? What parts were frustrating? This hands-on test is going to tell you more than any sales call ever will. And while you're in those free trials, here are a few pro tips. Get real users involved. Grab someone who will build courses and a couple of people who will take them and get their honest feedback. Ask the vendor for case studies from companies that are your size and in your industry. And don't forget the little details. Double-check where your data is actually being stored and definitely test out the mobile app. So much learning happens on the go these days. And speaking of how people work now, you're going to hear this term a lot. Micro-learning. All it means is delivering training in short, focused, bite-sized chunks. Think 3 to 10-minute videos or activities. It's absolutely perfect for busy teams. It works great on a phone, and it's actually been proven to boost engagement and help people remember what they've learned. The best modern LMS platforms are built for this. So, I'll leave you with this final question to really guide your decision. Are you just looking for a digital library, a place to store some documents and check a box? Or are you looking for a growth engine for your business, a tool that's going to automate your training, engage your employees, and help you scale? The choice is yours.